Rockstar gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to the Rockstar Report. Give me like 5 seconds, folks. Go ahead. Look, live goal today. Smash it. 100 likes or more. Let's go, folks. Let's go. We got to get it up. All right. Let's vibe for a second as I finish up some last minute things. Marcos Cash, what up? What up? James Island, what up? What up? Walk, what's up? Antonio, what's up? Diver, what up? Antonio knows what to do. Appreciate you. Anthony Brown, what's good? I guess I'm gonna be the only optimism in the fan base. Right now, it's tough, man. If you want to be Diver, more power. You look a lot less than today. I got it all out yesterday, Ropp. Got it all out. Darren, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button, folks. So just finish up the last couple things. So guys, here's the verdict of today. I'm not going to be breaking down, and you would know this if you were in the Discord. So make sure y'all join the Discord. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Yeah, just make sure y'all join the Discord because I'm not gonna do the breakdown of the Ultimate Team. There's just no point. There's no point. I am gonna tell you what I saw though, because I watched it and I took some notes. I'm gonna tell you what I saw from Bryce Young. I'm gonna tell you that now. Appreciate y'all. Let's go. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Give yourself a little pat on the back. All right. Music louder than your voice. I was trying to get it to fade in and out, but it wasn't working. James. It wasn't working. Adam Huckle, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I really appreciate y'all. What a game last night. Did anybody watch the Jets and the 49ers game? Aaron Rodgers looks like in postseason form. Just kidding. Yeah, let's start off with the first. Let's just start off with the first topic of the day, folks. Let's just start off with the first topic of the day. We're going at this raw. All right, we're going into this raw. We're going into this raw. Y'all ever gone into it raw? Y'all ever gone into it raw? Ladies and gentlemen, I am tired. I'm trying to wake up still. Yeah, trying to go into it raw. You understand? See what I'm saying? It was a joke. It was a joke, folks. All right, Dave Canales' philosophy. Let's talk about this. Because he has this philosophy that, and even after this disastrous week 1 game, and I'm going to open up the phone lines to you guys today again. I'm not going to be on here as long as I was yesterday. But there was a kind of a game on Sunday that makes you want to throw your remote through a TV. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's call it what it is. It was a nightmare. And it was a nightmare for Dave Canales. It was a nightmare for his first time as a head coach. Every quarter was a mess. Every phase of the game was an embarrassment, so on and so forth. Y'all have heard it before. You heard it here again. The Carolina Panthers, if you're a Carolina Panthers fan and you're watching this, obviously we got Saints, Bucks, because of the NFC South roundtable now. We've gotten a lot more of different fan bases. Hell, we've seen Bears and 49ers fans in here, which is crazy. And I've seen Kansas City Chiefs. So it seems like the Rockstar Report is getting multiple different, and I think we've had Jets too. I've noticed some Jets. So it was the worst fear of your life that could come true, right? You ever had that fear in your mind that you were just like, what was your biggest fear? And then it came true. Like mine came true a long time ago when I was 28 years old. When I was 28 years old. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it was because it's personal to me. But you've got 16 games left to fix this train wreck before this whole riot with the fans, fan base. I'm not surprised that if this gets bad, right? If this gets bad, James Aaron like that. James Allen says, got a hawk to a pause. Clay, Bryce, first ever pick, nobody in the area. Look at, no, Matt Chatter, we're going to go over them all 22. I took notes. I'm just not going to go. I'm not going to pull up all 22 and put y'all through that PTSD. I'm just going to let you, I went through the PTSD for you. Okay. I'm going to let you know what I saw. All right. I'm going to let you know what I saw. But this next game, because now I'm trying to move on from the Saints games, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to move on from it. Like I'm trying to just go ahead and move forward into week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay. And Canales' coaching philosophy, it was built on 3 main ideas, right? And unfortunately, in this game, he failed on every single one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Every single one. All right. So let's break it down here real quick. First one that he's always talked about, it's all about ball. That's what he has said multiple times, right? It's all about ball. You know what I mean? It's all about ball. Yeah. Except here's the problem with that, Dave. The Panthers didn't have the ball much because they couldn't stop turning it over. A -2 in the turnover margin, it felt more like a -10. You could see how like very like chill I am today. I let it out yesterday, folks. I let it out, and I was live for 4 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was yesterday. And if you missed out on that live yesterday, go check it out. You can go rewatch it. It's got over 1,100 views, over 100 likes because of you guys. So shout out to you guys again. Appreciate y'all. There's a giveaway coming. But Bryce Young's first pass was intercepted. Okay. Mingo fumbled it, and then Mingo fumbled on an end round around when he had the chance to get past midfield. And then after halftime, another interception just sealed the fate, right? The only turnover the Panthers got was a meaningless muff punt when they were already down 37 points. That's pathetic. All right, so stubborn. And then he's talking about we are stubborn. We're going to be stubborn running the football. Are we now? He felt like when we watched that press conference yesterday, he said we ran the ball enough. You ran the ball 20 times, Dave. New Orleans Saints ran the ball 37 times. So you ran the ball enough. Now, granted, I get it. You're down 17-0. You're down 17-0, so you have to pass the ball. But at the same time, you were down 17-0 in the first quarter. Like, you should have been running the ball even down 17-0, in my opinion. You just don't run away from that game plan. Like, you go after the game plan, you execute it, you continue to move forward with it, so on and so forth, folks. Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, even though we were down 17-0, I still believe we should have ran the football. You run the ball. Because then it opens up the pass. It takes the pressure off of Bryce. That's the whole goal here, to take all the pressure off of Bryce. The whole goal this offseason was to benefit Bryce. And where has that gotten you up to this point? Now, obviously, we could be overreacting as Panthers fans. I could be overreacting from yesterday. It was overreaction Monday, and I could be, right? I could just be cutting. But yesterday I just didn't feel. I just felt like being blunt, and I felt like being stubborn, and I felt like being no sugarcoating it. I'm still not going to sugarcoat shit though today. Like, Canales claims that he wants to pound the rock, but what does he call on the first play of the game as a head coach, folks? It's a pass. I mean, surprise, surprise, folks. And Bryce overthrew it straight to a Saints defender. Sure, the lane was there, but why not stick to your damn philosophy? Make that make sense to me. Vietnam with that $1.99 donation. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you, my guy. Got the Stone Cold Steve Austin there for you. Shout out to you. 2 fans in the stands. Tony. Tony, what up? What up? Yeah. There you go, Tony. That's for you, Tony. Yeah. But again, we're going to be stubborn running the ball. Right? Canales claims we're going to be pounding the rock, but what does he call on the first play? A pass, and Bryce Young overthrows it to a Saints defender. And again, sure, there was a lane there, but when you watch the all 22, and I watched it, guys, I'm going to just save you the PTSD. It's 2 crossing routes, basically, over the middle. You're supposed to throw this ball by the time these 2 cross, Thielen and Deontay Johnson. He tries to put it right there in between them. So basically, it was too early of a throw. He didn't wait. And it wasn't the offensive line's fault. You know what I mean? But anyways, so why not stick to your damn philosophy? Run the ball first. Run the damn ball first. Why not stick to your philosophy? That's what we're talking about. Dave Canales' coaching philosophy. Instead, we put Bryce Young in a high-pressure situation immediately, and it backfired majorly. Could we have started with a run? Absolutely. It could have it gone worse? Mostly unlikely. I guarantee you Chuba Hubbard's not fumbling the ball. That one's on you, Dave Canales. The first play of the game is on you. What's up, Gregory? But the first play is on you. The first play of the game, that is a poor coaching call. All right. You said we're going to be stubborn about running the ball in the first play of the game. You throw a pass. Just make it make sense to me, Dave Canales, because you said we're going to pound that rock. And you didn't. All right. Then you said another philosophy for you was basically we're going to defend every single every single blade of grass. Remember when Canales, y'all remember this, right? And let me know if you do. Remember when Canales was preaching that about never giving up and defending every yard? Yeah, his players must have missed that memo. Case in point, Saints' 6th play of the game. Right? Here's case in point. Saints' 6th play of the game. Derek Carr launches a bomb to Rashid Shaheed. Shaheed stumbles towards the end zone. J.C. Horn, one of our supposed to be best defenders, who I still think is good. It wasn't his fault. When I watch it back again, it's actually Jordan Fuller's fault. He was supposed to be going as J.C. Horn's cutting back. Jordan Fuller should have been going up with Rashid. With Rashid, it was a busted coverage. It's poor but it's still poor execution on J.C. Horn and Jordan Fuller, and communication issue there too. There should have been something. If you're the most talented players, you aren't living up to your mantra, that's a problem. And Horn jogged in frustration, which he should be, because it's Jordan Fuller's fault. Because I would be like, seriously, what the hell, dude? You're supposed to be covering. You're supposed to be going up as I'm going down. So my final take to Dave Canales' philosophy. Cody said, well, I'll get into my final take. Let me get into some comments here real quick. Rough week, rough 6 years, keep pounding. Yeah, keep pounding, Cody. I mean, we're going to keep pounding here, folks. We are going to keep pounding. It's not going to stop me from keep pounding. Canales had to be bluffing, sending smoke signals. I am, and I'm still optimistic about the season. Hey, Sideburn, if you stay optimistic and they turn it around, good on you, my guy. And if they don't, still good on you, I guess. I don't know. I really don't have anything to really say anymore about optimism. Yeah, it was bad, Tony, on that play. How can we possibly be optimistic? Oh, Bryce Young and the Panthers pissed me off and sold me for too long. Yep. And Vietnam's probably feeling it because Vietnam was like, Bryce is going to kill it this year. Vietnam was one of those believers. And now he's just like, nope, enough's enough. And I get it. I was the same way yesterday, Vietnam. I was the same way yesterday. But I was never a Bryce believer as much as you were. I was a guy who said, let's give him a chance. I guess I was a give a chance believer. Right? Whatever you want to call it. We got 45 people watching, 23 on Twitter, 22 on YouTube. Make sure you do me a favor. Smash that like button. Smash the ever living shit out of that like button. Woo! Do it. Do it for me. All right. Smash it. All right. That's all you got to do. You just got to drop
these nuts
on that like button. On that like button. That's all you got to do. All right. Just a big old bomb drop on that like button. All right. Do me a favor and do that. All right. So my final take on this is that basically, guys, is that Canales didn't just have a bad first game. All right. He went against everything he's been preaching. Like he strayed from his own teachings, if you think about it. Like, and you watched the all 22. He did. Like this team followed his lead straight into an ass kicking. Like the Saints showed no mercy. Neither did the scoreboard. And now Canales has to figure out how to fix the disaster before the home crowd turns on him. Before this home crowd comes in there with pitchfork and torches. You know what I mean? So next week, home game, Dave Canales, do me a favor. Finally stick to your philosophies. Or again, it's going to be another long damn season. Like, stick with your gut. I don't care if we're down 30-0 and you feel that the philosophy is to run the damn ball, run the damn ball. I mean, Gregory, it could be it could be what they needed, man. I don't disagree with that. It could be something that they just needed. It could be just something that they just needed. You know what I mean? Didn't even know my thing wasn't turned on back there. So, again, folks, the philosophy is a philosophy. It is what it is. All right. Let's talk about defensive linemen. Let's talk about the defensive linemen because we need to move into that next. Defensive lineman the Carolina Panthers must target after Derek Brown. So there are a couple names that I've been looking at. I've been looking at. Let's see here. Look up this guy first. Let's see if I can find him. Yeah. Here he is. Here he is. I repeat, how can anyone support the Panthers at the rate that they're going right now? Jarvis, unfortunately, I am die hard, ride or die, no matter what. I'm calling it. Chargers putting up 50 on this horrible D. Bryce throws 4 picks. I hope they don't keep him out there long enough for him to throw 4 picks. All right, let's start with this guy. So I was doing some research. Obviously, we're absolutely getting stomped in week 1. Like I said before, things have gone from bad to worse, and they're only going to get worse. And most of the time in situations like this for us, folks, it's like it's going to get worse before it gets better, right? You've heard me say that multiple times. I mean, I think Dave Canales is probably, as a first-year head coach, is wondering what kind of cosmic joke is playing out here, because now Derek Brown is out, down for a knee injury. The guy is like who literally just broke the record for tackles by an interior defensive lineman last season, is looking at a torn meniscus. He's obviously getting a second opinion. Surgery's on the table, but if that's the case, he's likely done for the season. And in case you forgot, they handed Brown an absolutely fat new contract. So yeah, things couldn't look any worse for Carolina, right? You talk about this defense, it's already suspect. It's about to even be more of a dumpster fire without the biggest playmaker on that defense. You got Dan Morgan, who's hopefully has some tricks up his sleeve. I don't know, because if Brown is out for a significant time, they're probably going to have to scrap at the bottom of the barrel, which we're already looking at one of them, right, who can hold things down. So I'm going to give you some players, some guys that I was doing some research on over the cap. There are some free agents out there, but there's also guys on practice squads that I was looking at. So I was looking at over the cap, and so what's up, JJ? Appreciate you, man, being in here. They're not scoring, but it's going to be J.K. Dobbins masterclass. J.K. Dobbins is back, baby. J.K. Dobbins is back. Curbstomp by the hated Saints. I admire your ride or die support, brother. All I can do is just pray for you and all the other. Listen, man, I will be live as much as I am already. I will be continue to put content on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I will continue to do so, Jarvis, even if this team continues to be 0-17. And I will bring y'all the best content I possibly can and still try to hopefully warm your hearts and make you feel a little bit better. Make you feel a little bit better. You know what I mean? So let's talk about Mr. Christopher Hinton here. Let's face it. No one they picked up is going to replace Derek Brown. Right? That's just the reality, folks. Like, at this point, we are desperate for bodies. Like, Hinton Jr. is one of those warm bodies. Okay? Let me move him a little bit closer over here. Let me go right here. Then let me edit you. And let me move my ass on over just a little bit. And there we go, Bo. All right. So, sure, he's stuck on this Chargers practice squad. He's got some decent football pedigree. His dad was a 7-time Pro Bowler. And that's about where the good news ends, though. Because Hinton is a guy that has shown flashes in the preseason, which wasn't enough to actually make the roster. But hey, practice squad isn't nothing, right? Like, I mean, he's young. again, we like the young. We love the ambitious. We love to bring in this talent that can hopefully learn and be an asset, and it's young and that we can develop them. But considering that Carolina plays the Chargers in a week, I think the Panthers would need to hold off before bringing this guy in. Obviously, thanks to some stupid NFL rules. But hey, it's not like their season is already burning to the ground or anything, right, folks? Appreciate everybody in the chat. CJ goes, I pray we don't go in 17. Me neither, my friend. Here's another one. Here's another one. Chris Smith. Okay. Here's where the Panthers could get lucky. Here's the reason why I say this. The Lions just cut this guy. This guy's built like a nose tackle. Here's your shy total replacement right here. That's your shy total replacement right there. 6'1", 316. Now, it says 305. He's actually 316. And should be all over that. We should be, because Smith would allow shy total to move out of the nose tackle spot where he's been struggling like a deer in the headlights. Seriously, we need to look at this guy. The fact that the Panthers have even tried total there is just wild to me. I think what's also so wild to me is how big A'Shawn Robinson is, and the guy has never played nose tackle in his life. It's been getting pushed around. Like, shy total's been getting pushed around like a shopping cart at a Walmart parking lot. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to fix that atrocious mess, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. So you get a guy like this for Chris Smith. This is your true nose tackle right here. Okay? 71 people watching. Do me a favor. Smash that like button. All right? We're already at 29 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, we have a live goal here at the Ropp Star Report every single day of 100 likes or more. So just do me a favor. Just tap it one time. All right? And click that like button. All right? It only takes a second. So Chris Smith is a guy, I think could be a good steal before, the Detroit sneaks him back into that practice squad. I do like Chris Smith just because I think he's more of a true nose tackle than, of course, you getting a guy Nick Thurman does fit the narrative there too as the nose tackle for Carolina. But I also think like Chris Smith would be a good steal because, again, we can't afford to be nice here. Right? So if they want to save their season, they need to start swiping players before anyone else does. All right. Let's go into another guy that I was looking into. Bryce Hector. All right. Defensive lineman. He's a little bit of an older guy. And again, another practice squad guy. I mean, this is the time it's a guy from the Jets, like I said, Bruce Hector. No, not Bruce Hector. It's Bryce Hector. I think I might have the right. Maybe it is Bruce Hector. No, I thought it was Bryce Hector. I spelled it wrong. It's Bruce Hector. It's Bruce Hector. My bad. Again, he impressed in the preseason there in the Jets from my research, especially against Carolina's offensive line. Let's be real. It isn't the hardest thing to do these days, but I will say, they have looked better. Like the offensive line is not the issue. Okay. I'll tell you that from watching the all 22 folks. The problem here is that he's a bit undersized for the scheme. He's 6'2", 296. But beggars can't be choosers in the situation we're in. I will say the guy's athletic. He spent some time learning from Robert Saleh, one of the NFL's top defensive-minded coaches. This would be a bit of a gamble at this point, but you might want to roll the dice. Whether Hector would fit in a Giro Evero scheme, but hell, it's not like we have any other good options lying around, folks. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. I mean, Jarvis, you never know, man. James, yeah, exactly, James. Welcome to Carolina. I don't know. Clowney might be wrong on that. There had to be some losing seasons in Houston when he was there. No? I'd love for someone to look that up for me. Like, has Clowney ever been on a team that had a losing record or losing season? Like, I mean, even in South, I mean, I'm a South Carolina fan, and when he was there, we won a lot of games. Like, it was like 10, 11 wins every year when he was there. But I'm trying to remember in that Houston time if Clowney's actually played it on a shitty team. I don't know. But is it actually possible to save our season? We'll talk more about that, JJ. I don't know if it is, but if Bryce is gone, some miracles happen, then maybe. Again, I'm going to explain more on the Bryce situation today as well. All right, let's move on. Let's bring back, maybe we should look into bringing this guy in. I might have spelled his name wrong. No, I spelled his name wrong. Big Worm. Chris Wormley. Wait, he's with us? Is he? I thought he's a free agent, I thought. All right, over the cap. Are y'all messing with my mind or what? Is Chris Wormley on this team? Hey, yo. There ain't no way Chris Wormley's on this team. I know over the cap be lying. I know over the cap be lying. All right, hold on. Let me see something. There's no way. Well, how is Chris Wormley? There's no way. Let's look at Spot Track. I might not ever use over the cap again. Damn. All right, and let's go with D-line. Well, we've already got Charles Harris because we brought him in today. There's no way Chris Wormley's on this team. Yeah, he's not. He's an undrafted free. He's still a free agent right now based off of Spot Track. Did he get signed today? Because he's one of the guys I was going to mention. Can someone find out? Someone in the chat find this out for me. Because I'm looking at, look, folks. I'm looking at it from Spot Track. And Chris Wormley's down here as a free agent for defensive line. He's right here. He's right here. So I'm trying to figure out why PFF still has him as a Carolina Panther. Because he's not on the practice squad. Let me look him up. Let me look at somewhere else. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, he's not on here. He's underneath here, folks. Look, right here. And this is for free agents that are available. I'm going to see if I can use another source here. Hold on. Let me share my screen though. Because this doesn't make sense. Yeah, he's as of right now on the NFL website. Look, folks, he's a free agent. He's still a free agent. So based off the NFL website. So we're good. So anyways, Maybe we bring Chris Wormley back. All right. This is one of the familiarities. He played with us last season, appeared in 5 games. Obviously, Evero knows what he's getting here. I think Wormley's not some fresh-faced kid. He's got plenty of NFL experience. He's 30 years old. He's been in the league, as you can see, 2017. So he's been in the league for 7 years now. So he had a solid year. Like if we go back and look at his one of his best performances was actually in 2021 here, which he racked up 8 sacks. And let's not pretend he's not going to save our defense, but he's on the market for a reason. I think with, Carolina's D-line depth and shambles without Brown, again, this move to me makes sense purely because from we need a body in here kind of perspective. You know what I mean? Right? So Wormley is not going to set the world on fire. At least he knows the system and won't need weeks to obviously get up to speed. But that's more than can be said of some other options, right? Like some of these guys I've mentioned. Like I do like the guy I mentioned from Chris Smith. I think he's a true nose tackle we could bring in, move Shy Tuttle on the outside. Again, Chris Wormley familiarity. I like him. Maybe you bring both of them. And then you bring in a guy like I was mentioning, they obviously brought in Charles Harris, so that definitely benefits, right, from the edge rushing room. I think the more bodies we bring in at this point, at least from a defensive standpoint, and this D-line, the better off we're going to be. And I know as of right now, it seems like we're just throwing shit and see if it sticks. But I don't know if we have time right now to just wait around, right? I'm going to give you one more guy. His name is Gabe Hall. Gabe Hall. Okay, he's not coming up in PFF. Great. Fuck you. You're telling me there isn't a Gabe Hall here? Wow. Okay. Anyways, we'll talk about Gabe Hall just a little bit then, because I can't bring him up. What do we got in here? Yeah, he's not on the team. Clay, he's a free agent right now. All right, cool. Thank you, Cyborg. See, I knew he wasn't. When I checked the NFL website, he didn't have one on there. Shy Tuttle's absolutely trash. Why is he a starter? He's in the wrong position. That's number one. But number two, yeah, I can't disagree with you there, Demex. I don't know. Cyber and Canales' face looked very concerned after Bryce's first interception. Yeah. Yes, Chris, that's a good one. Appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Sekai Ikea still available. Very good. I like him. But I think my 2 right now is Chris. I would say actually these are my top 3. Actually, with Chris bringing that up, Sekai Ikea. He's got the physical tools when he's in the mood to use them, though. That's the problem, Chris. It's like the guy's got the stature. He's a monster on paper, but he's just not lighting up the world right now, right? Howard, I'm right there with you. I was preaching it yesterday. We need to move on to the 4-3 defense. I can go into full detail what I said yesterday. Just not going to reiterate it, but I agree with you. I was pounding the table for it yesterday. It definitely would be effective for this team. Let's be real, though. None of the options that I even have mentioned, though, folks, and then we even went looked at, they're not going to make up for a loss for Derek Brown. They're just not. Like, the Panthers are in deep trouble. They're in absolute deep waters. Right? And unless they find some magic solution, some magic potion that makes Bryce Young taller and his arm bigger, this season is already circling it down the drain. And unless somehow they also can recreate another Derek Brown, that's all I got. Right? If Morgan can hustle and snag 1 or 2 guys, I think it would help. Right? Bring some bodies in. But they might not be able to patch things up. Obviously enough to, cure the wound, I guess you could say. Like you can patch the wound up, but that doesn't mean it's going to heal. Especially depending on what it is. So, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. The rest of the season without, maybe we could somehow, rest of the season, if we somehow can pull more than two wins than last year, maybe we don't become the laughing stock of the NFL all over again. But at the what we're looking at from this Saints game and now losing DB, it's very hard to say otherwise. It's very hard to say otherwise. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Last year I was Mr. Optimism. I'm Mr. Optimistic. You're getting Mr. Realistic, no ball, master degree in ball knowledge, ClayRopp. That's what you're getting. We're being realistic because I'm not eating my crow. It might be time to move on, Chris. It might be time to move on from Evero. I don't know but again, can we really blame Evero? Because when we look at this depth chart, folks, are we really just going to blame our defensive coach? You got Shy Toto playing nose tackle, who should really be on the outside. I think Derek Brown would have been a better nose tackle, right? Or Ashawn Robinson would have been a better nose tackle. Or Nick Thurman should have been in there, and Shy Toto should have been rotating on the outside. That's an Evero miscue. Right? That's an Evero problem. The 3-4 defense, ever since we shifted, really hasn't been much better, though. Like Phil Snow, I might have, if we go look at Phil Snow's defensive stats compared to this one, to Evero's statistics, I think you could probably make a debate. I think you can make a debate. But right now, I think we need to bring in another body on the D line. I think Chris Wormley or the guy I mentioned from the Detroit, who was it again? Chris Smith would be good just to bring some bodies in. But they aren't moving Canales. Canales is learning and can't worry about the defense, in my opinion. Well, another thing is, Josh, Canales did say to Evero, that's your team. I'm going to let you handle that. I'm not saying, I don't, Cyburn, I wasn't saying Phil Snow, Phil Snow ran a 4.3 though, but I'm just saying, Brad Holt, he did not run a 3.35. He did not run a 3.35. He ran a 4.3. That's why I'm saying, go ahead and compare it. It's a 4.3 defense. It's a 4.3. I'm looking at it right now. He has some 3.35 packages, but he runs a 4.3. That's what it is, Brad. Yeah, he mixed it up. So he ran a 4.3, but he had some 3.35 packages in it. He had some 3.35 packages. Panthers have always been a 4.3, and as soon as we run 3.4, it's trash. Right. Why fix something that's not broke? Evero, I think, is a good defensive coordinator, folks. I think he's a very good defensive coordinator, but your personnel does not fit the 3-4 defense. It just doesn't. And whoever thought Shy Toto should have been in a true nose tackle, or should be a nose tackle, is crazy. Is crazy to me. The guy is getting absolutely dog walked. Absolutely dog walked. You know what I mean? Shout out to all you guys in the chat. We got 39 people watching. We only got 32 likes. Do me a favor, of course, as always, this live goal is, of course, 100 likes. All right. Trying to get 100 likes. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Panthers have signed former. I'm going to pull it up. Panthers has signed former first-round pass rusher Charles Harris today. I think it was today or it was last night, whatever it was, something like that. All right. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up here. Good God, cheeks. Every time I pull up X, there's a pair of cheeks looking at me. Don't know why. I ain't mad about it. All right, here we go. Here it is. So, again, this came out on ESPN by David Newton here. Panthers signed Charles Harris. All right. Charles Harris. I mean, I'm serious, Toxic. Every time I hop on X, it's like a pair of butt cheeks, just looking at me. It's like, all right. Just hop on X. Get your cheeks on. You know what I mean? Look. Hop on X. All right, so the Carolina Panthers are still scrambling to find an answer to this pass edge rushing room, and they've now thrown another dart at the board by signing former first-round pick Charles Harris. I mean, this team's pass rush has been a glaring issue for months. DJ Wonnum on injury reserved. They've been cycling through bodies like a bad Tinder date, man. Y'all ever had a bad Tinder date? I have. I've had a couple of bad Tinder dates. And I paid for them. You know what I mean? I never made the girl pay. It's crazy. Hell, dating today, you don't even know if the girl's an actual girl. Just being honest. Might as well keep it a buck with you. All right, moving on from Tinder dates. But Evero has tried just about, I think, he's tried just about everyone in preseason, bro. And even last Monday against the Saints, ladies and gentlemen. But the gaping hole opposite of Jadeveon Clowney, though, guys, it's still there. Hey, at least I can make y'all laugh. Because at least, like, if I might as well make it a little bit of comedic. Because what else have we got to do? I can't talk about us winning. We've talked about us losing. I might as well throw in some comedy in there for you guys, Keep it lively for you, So what's their genius solution? You bring in Charles Harris. Yep. Charles Harris, the guy that was drafted first round by the Miami Dolphins, who never lived up to the hype. But that makes sense. Hell, you could probably make the case that Jadeveon Clowney never lived up to the hype either. Now, he has been consistent every single year. Every single year. More than this guy. So, Tom Pelissero or Dave Newton, whoever you want to use, we inked in a 1-year deal with them. Again, it's nice to add another name to this mix. But let's not get ahead of ourselves thinking this guy is going to be some magical fix of everything. Because some people, here's the thing. There are Panthers fans out here that still believe in this team. There are delusional people out there that still believe in everything. I don't blame you. Okay, if you want to believe, you believe. All right? Just so you know, maybe if some of you delusional fans don't know this, Santa Claus isn't real. All right? So, again, I have been Mr. Optimistic on this show. for years. For the past 3 to 4, doing this show for what, 3 years now? 4 years going on? And I've been Mr. Optimistic after optimistic after optimistic, believer, patience, teaching patience, trust the process. That shit's gone out the door, man. It's time to, again, I told y'all, this is realistic. Expectations are at an all-time low. And I'm just being real. And that's it. But this guy's career has been, let's just say this, underwhelming. Right? Putting it kindly, and I'm putting that kindly for this guy. Like, in his first 3 seasons in Miami was pretty forgettable. Nobody remembers this guy in Miami. Sure, he racked up 61 tackles, 3.5 sacks during that time, but that was during the time. Not in, like, there's guys in the league that get 61 tackles and 3.5 sacks in a season, bro. And you're a first-round pick, and in your time, you only racked up that much? Like, for a first-round pick, the Dolphins spent a considerable amount on this guy for a first-round pick, and they probably expected a lot more than the meager production that that he was, right? Eventually, they got tired of waiting for him to just turn things around, so they shipped him off to the Falcons for the low price of a 7th-round pick. Basically, the NFL equivalent of saying, just take him off our hands, please. Take him off our hands. So in Atlanta, he showed a few signs, all right, of life. He played 13 games, made 1 start, put up 18 tackles, 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits. It's not bad, but it's nothing to write home about. Like, unsurprisingly, the Falcons weren't impressed enough to pick up his 5th-year option. Surprise, surprise. So it was off to the next stop, right? Then in 2021, he lands in Detroit, okay? Shockingly, he finally looked like a guy who knew how to play ball. The best season of his career, 65 tackles, 16 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for a loss, and 7.5 sacks. It was that kind of year that people expected him from the get-go to have as a first-round pick. But because of life is cruel and ironic, Harris couldn't sustain that success. Because over the next 2 seasons, he just faded back in the background. Taking a reserve role, failed to make any impact. Now he's in Carolina. The big question here is, what version of Charles Harris are we getting? That's the question. What version of this guy are we actually going to get? Are we getting the 2021 version who could actually cause some problems? Or are we getting the guy who practically was invisible for years before and after? I'm going to be honest. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is a shot in the dark. I would have rather tried to gone after Yannick Ngakoue or Carl Lawson, somebody like that. Or hell, I would have tried to make a trade for someone. I try to test the market. That's just me. Some of you be like, well, we don't want to waste anything. We don't want to waste the money. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. What the fuck else do we got to do? What else do we got to do? What else have we got to lose? Like, you're banking, basically, this is a guy who has been inconsistent and at best throughout his career. You're banking on him to answer the opposite of Clowney as a risk. Again, desperate times call for desperate measures, and the Panthers are clearly desperate. We're desperate, bro. That's what we are. They're hoping Harris can at least bring some life to this pass rush that's been on life support. At the end of the day, again, guys, this is just yet another let's see what sticks. I told you. That's what they're doing. We're continuing to see we might as well just make t-shirts with our logo on it right up front here. We'll put the big old Carolina Panthers logo, and then on the back, put in quotes, let's see what sticks. I mean, Harris might contribute, but again, then he might fade into the same rotation of the underperforming edge rushers that Evero has been shuffling through. And either way, the Panthers are going to patch up the leaks on this sinking ship, and that's where we are. You're patching it up with duct tape. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're just patching things up. Seeing if it sticks. Right? Seeing if it sticks. That's what you're doing. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Look at that, folks. There's your starting quarterback. There's your starting quarterback, everyone. There's Mr. Golden Boy. I mean, you know, and I hate it for him, man, but we're in deep shit. I mean, this is an absolute train wreck of a start of the 2024 season. It's clear that something's got to give. Like, if the Panthers don't adjust the game plan soon, we're going to set up this kid to just continue to be complete and utter failure, right? I'm not necessarily saying that, like you go look at it last year, folks. Like, here's the question. Because, and we're going to get into that. Here's the question. This is the question right here, folks. Bench or to not to bench? That is the question for Bryce Young. Because this kid last year had zero confidence, I think, after last season. Because you come out the first play of the game that you're supposed to be coming out and be running the damn rock. He throws a pick. So what confidence is left to destroy at this point? That's something I think we need to ask. Like, this kid is spiraling. There is a thin line between benching a player and protecting him and then also giving up on him altogether. I mean, if this kid continues to eat shit, it is time to sit him and bring in Andy Dalton, who's at least a guy who has NFL experience, and he's nothing exciting, but compared to throwing Young to the Wolves every week, he's the lesser of the two evils. Then you got Dave Canales, right? Trying to talk up some back to basics nonsense after this absolutely obliteration of 47-10 by the New Orleans Saints. Canales is acting like breaking down film is going to magically fix things. What is timing, footwork, protection, right? He muses like, dude, how about all the above? The whole operation has been a disaster. The isolation plays isn't going to stop Young from getting mauled every time he steps on the field. Pretending everything's fine in Carolina is a recipe for disaster. Young looked like a broken man during his post-game press conference. We saw that. Who can blame him, though? The guy continues to go up to the podium and say, it's on me. It's on me. It's all me. No shit. But it's not just you though, Bryce. Like he took a blame for both of those soul crushing interceptions, like he's supposed to. But again, I'm gonna say this: it's not. It is on him. No shit. It's not on you, Bryce. But it's not just you. Here's what I'm saying. Benching Young isn't about giving up. It's about saving the what's left of the confidence before he ends up like Zach Wilson. And let's not forget, he went from a supposed franchise savior to a backup nobody that nobody wants because his team didn't know how to manage him. The Jets didn't know how to manage Zach Wilson. So if the Panthers keep this up, they're going to be the next quarterback to chew up and spit out. So Carolina's problems are way bigger than just Bryce Young, though. You got to also think about this defense. Like, you couldn't stop a toddler on the defensive side. The offense, hot garbage. Like, I was expecting Young because I was giving him a chance. Right? I was never a Bryce Young believer. I was never a Bryce sexual. Never a Bryce sexual. But I expected Young to be better, and I was giving him chance to fix everything. And that's just, honestly, in my part, that's just stupid. Honestly, it's just irresponsible for me to even think that way. But Canales and this rest of this coaching staff need to pull their heads out of their asses and figure out a better plan. Like, Young isn't going to single-handedly drag this team out of the gutter. And at this rate, they're just going to ruin it. Like, you got the Chargers up next. Like, if they don't get their act together, it's going to be another bloodbath. And Young's already carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. It's only week 2. And if Carolina doesn't pivot and fast, the season's already going to be long and over. Like, it's not just for the team, but for the kid they've invested in so much. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like Bryce, I mean, part of me also feels like Bryce Young did deserve better than the mess that he came into and the mess that he's still in. But also at the same time, like, Bryce also does it to himself. Here's the thing about yesterday. I watched the All-22 film. I told y'all I was going to break it down with you guys on here. I'm not going to put you through that PTSD. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put you through that PTSD. I did it for you. I did it for you. Because right now, this kid looks broke. When I watched it, I watched the All-22 film. Bryce Young looks broken. He looks scared, and he looks out of his depth. Because let's cut the crap. He is an absolute mess right now. The rookie quarterback has been handled the reins to the Carolina Panthers office, and instead of leading them to glory, he just steered them straight into a dumpster fire. Here's the brutal truth. He's cooked, and it's getting uglier week by week. It starts with poor reads and decision-making. His decision-making is an absolute train wreck. He's been given the freedom. I told y'all this, and I put it in the Discord. When I watch this, he's given the freedom to adjust plays. So he's adjusting plays at the line of scrimmage, right? But instead, he's been adjusting the game plan straight into crap. That's what he's doing. He's changing the play to either what he thinks it is by reading the defense, which his reads are about as reliable as a GPS that always sends you to the wrong address. That's how bad his reading defenses is. I'm going to tell you this again. When I watched this game film and I saw him making adjustments, his reads are about as reliable as a GPS that always sends you to that wrong address. And I'm just telling you what I saw yesterday, folks. I'm not, again, I'm just telling you what I saw. Guys, we got 44 people watching on YouTube. We got over 91 people watching total. We got 47 people watching on X. If you're watching on X, come on over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you come over here, like and subscribe. That's the best way you can show your support to the Ropp Star Report, I am live daily NFL, Carolina Panthers content. If that is your bugaboo, then make sure you come over here and like and subscribe if you're over on X. And if you're already on YouTube and you're not subscribed and you like the content I put out there, just do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate it. But that's what I saw. Right? And then here's another thing is when I watched it, it's whether it was him missing coverage or failing to recognize the pressure, which obviously he did with those 3 corner blitzes with the man coverage on the back end. And then that's just his bad decisions. Now, I will say on some of those corner blitzes, our halfbacks have to be better. Our halfbacks have to be better at blocking or chip blocks. JJ, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's just listen. You're killing any chance with those bad decisions and the stalling drives. You're killing any chance of offensive momentum, folks. The ball isn't going where it needs to. And as a result, plays are dying because they don't get a good shot at it. Another thing that was an issue, what I saw. If you thought that Young's decision-making was bad, the timing issues were even worse. Because the kid either holds onto the ball like he's waiting for a miracle or throws it so early that his receivers are still in the parking lot. It's a complete shit show. And so that's what I saw from the All-22 film. Like, Canales has to dial up plays that could actually work if they weren't executed with the precision of a bull in a china shop. The timing is so far off, it's like watching a slapstick comedy. But again, and JP, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with this comment. But another thing I will say is this guy is too much of a pussy for me too. This is not Pop Warner. This is not middle school. This is not high school. This is not travel football. This is not even college. This is where the big boys play. This is where men play. And Bryce Young is a boy amongst men as of right now. Like, so what's next, right? So what's next? The Panthers are faced with a tough choice because you either keep him in the hopes he turns things around, which is like hoping a broken mirror will just magically fix itself, or you bench him and you try to salvage what's left of his confidence, if there's any at all. Let Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, take over. Dalton's not exactly a game changer, but at least he won't set the offense on fire every time he steps on the field. Because in hindsight, folks, Young should have been benched from the start. Just like Jordan Love, just like Patrick Mahomes were. It's clear he needs time to sit and learn rather than getting thrown into the deep end and sink in each and every game. The Panthers could end up with a terrible season and a high draft pick, or they could use this time to salvage Young's future and letting him watch over the sidelines and learn from his mistakes. Not saying that's going to solve everything, but that is an option. It's a chance. It's a risk. It's the same thing as risk. That's about the same as risking to get that number 1 pick and hoping that quarterback pans out better than Bryce Young. It's the same risk. Y'all can't tell me that getting a first-round draft pick or sitting Bryce and hoping he can learn isn't the same amount of risk. Because you don't know if Carson Beck, you don't know if Quentin Ewers, you don't know if Shedeur Sanders or any of those guys are actually going to come out of that draft and be better than Bryce Young. You just don't. You can sit there and make all the assumptions you want. You could sit there and break down his draft grading. You could break down all of his analytics. You could break down his arm talent, his footwork. We could do that on here. I've done it before on lots of quarterbacks. But that's not to say that those guys are going to be any better. Who's to say that those guys shouldn't sit down behind somebody and learn before they go out there? You know what I mean? Like right now, Young's career trajectory looks like a free fall. Like the Panthers need to make a decision faster. Either let him keep stumbling through this mess, hope he figures it out, which seems less than likely by the week, or bench him and bring in Dalton to hopefully steer the ship into some direction and hopefully some identity and hopefully maybe a win or a couple of wins. Either way, we're in a tough spot. And this journey for Bryce Young, from promising rookie to a potential bust, we're hitting major turbulence right now. You're on Spirit Airlines, and that motherfucker is going it's just, you're going through a storm. And the pressure is affecting, the thing is, the problem is the pressure is affecting the whole team with this kid because he can't stay on the field long enough to get the defense time to rest off the field. He's hurting both sides of the ball, folks, when you think about it, because the offense can't stay on the field long enough. JJ says, relax. Spirit Airlines clear, Bryce. I fly Delta, so I don't know what Spirit is anymore. I flew with Spirit one time, never again. You know what I mean? Again, a lot of us could be overreacting. Who fuck knows, right? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? You know what I mean? Shit's crazy, man. I'm not going to defend anything. Just got to hope things get better. Again, it's got to get worse before it gets better, Josh. And I'm still sticking with that. I'm still sticking with that with you guys. Marcos, I agree with that theory. Nick Saban already admitted to Sports Illustrated that he catered his team to Bryce. Like Matter coach did. Any player will look great with those backups. again, you have your options, folks. You pick it. You either stick it out with him and hope he turns things around, or you stick with you got 3 options. 2 of them have to deal with sticking with him, right? The first 2, I'm going to say, you got number 1. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. You keep him on the field, you keep playing him, and you hope he turns it around. Option number 2, you keep playing him, and he shits the bed, and you get the first overall pick. Or you play Andy Dalton, you bench Bryce, and you hope you salvage what's left of Bryce. And hopefully he can turn it around from just sitting and learning. That's your options. Or you bench him. Actually, you got option 4. You bench him, and you move on from him next season. But again, here's the thing. We will know if David Tepper is still meddling with it in football. Because then here's the thing. You can make the case that also that David Tepper is still meddling within football operations if they don't bench Bryce. You could make a case for that too. Hell, I've got 5. I got 5 on it now. Now I just mentioned it. I've got 5 accusations now. I got 5 on it. You know what I mean? I think at this point, though, for Carolina, again, we don't like Bryce is a big fish in this pond that is a concern, but it's also the defense is a concern too. And Evero does deserve some of that pressure. But also, Dan Morgan also deserves some of that pressure because he should have, again, we should have, now that we look at this team, as much as I love Xavier Legette and as much as that he showed more promise to me this past Sunday, there should be pressure on Dan Morgan due to the fact that you didn't go out and actually bolster up this defense instead of drafting Xavier Legette. Because you could have had two top defensive players in the second round. You could have had Edgerrin Cooper, even though Trevin Wallace has been absolutely solid, but I think I like Edgerrin Cooper as a pass rusher than I do Trevin Wallace. But I think Trevin Wallace might be the future of that linebacker room. But also, you could have had a guy like Kamari Lassiter. You could have, there were some corners that I was looking at in that second round. Hell, I think you could have had Kool-Aid, McKinstry. But for pass rushers, you could also, I don't think we would have got Chop or Demarcus Robinson. If we go look at the NFL draft board, right? Like you could have, you took Xavier Legette with the 32nd pick. So at that point, if we go look in the second round, you could have gotten to Devondre Sweat. There's your true nose tackle. Could have got Braden Fisk. Could have fit maybe on the outside. Maybe he could have played nose. Could have got Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kamari Lassiter, Max Melton, Edgerrin Cooper. You also could have got a center, even though can't really say that Corbett doesn't look bad. Could have got Marshawn Nealon out of Western Michigan, Chris Broswell out of Alabama. There were still some pass rushers, there were still some linebackers, and there were still some corners you could have gotten to help with this defense. Now, again, I was an advocate. I will admit when I'm wrong, I was an advocate for Xavier Legette because I'm a Gamecock fan. So a little bit biased there, right? A little bit biased. Yeah, well, Brad Holt, he got it because they're familiar with his scheme. Obviously, look how that's working out. You know why we didn't go defense early, Clay? Everything was catered to Bryce. Yeah. No, I get that, JP. I wholeheartedly understand that. I wholeheartedly understand it. But you already went and got a Deontay Johnson. You already went out and got the offensive line with Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt, and you already made the decision that you were going to stick with Austin Corbett at center. Did you really need to get Xavier Legette at 32nd? Not really. Now, again, honestly, we're kind of looking at it now, though. Xavier Legette looks better than Jonathan Mingo. I can make the case for that. Jonathan Mingo's turned into Terrace Marshall Jr. 2.0 all over again for me. After 2 fumbles in 1 fucking game, bro? Are you out of your mind? Hold on to the fucking ball. Hold it like this if you got to. The kid's holding it like it's a loaf of bread going to grandmama's house down the fucking yellow brick road. That's how pissed off I am at Jonathan Mingo. And I was willing to give him a second chance. But his second chance has left the building too. So get him out of there. Go Tigers. Is that LSU Tigers or Clemson Tigers? Yeah, I mean, and it's still Lemon Drop Head. Lemon Drop Head is still Lemon Drop Head still is, of course, the issue. Or it still could be it seems to be that glaring issue. That's what I call them. You ever seen what a lemon drop? You ever seen a lemon drop head? Here's Dave. Here's David Tepper. Here's David Tepper. That's David Tepper right there. There's your David Tepper, lemon head. Except without any hair. Bald-headed son of a bitch. I'm going to have to go to church after this week. I have to go back to church again this week and pray, not only pray for this team, but pray for my sins for all the curse words I said on this channel this week. Oh, my God. Yeah, you wrong, Clay. There he is, man. There he is. Lemon drop. That's David Tepper for you right there, folks. But again, we had our chances at guys too in that draft. I mean, I'm not mad at the Xavier Legette thing still. But you still, even though you had 2 second-round picks to still work with after the Xavier Legette trade. Yeah. You still had 2 picks. You still could have gotten an edge rusher and a corner. If you weren't going to draft a center, why go? I mean, Jonathan Brooks, it might be a once in a life. Now, again, we might be I might be eating my words with that, because then what if Jonathan Brooks becomes Bijan Robinson 2.0, right? Becomes just as good, or if not better, right? Then I'll back off a little bit. But at the same time, we should be looking at more needs than we did wants. Like the glaring rooms, right? The glaring gaps on this team. The glaring gaps on this team was not as much as wide receiver. My top three, I kept saying it, was center, edge. Well, after Brian Burns, I said edge. Then I said center. Then I said corner. But now, really, if we're looking at it, it's D-line. It's pass rush. Corner, I'm okay with. J.C. Horn's just got to show more to me. He's got to step up. He's got to step up. Then, of course, now it's obviously the biggest issue is the quarterback. I think the offensive line is fine. I watched like I told y'all, I saved y'all the PTSD of the All-22 film because really there's not much to learn about it. You saw everything you needed to see on Sunday. You're not going to learn anything from that All-22 film that you didn't already see. I'll be honest with you when I watched it. Some of the things I agreed with, Josh, for some of it now that we're looking back at it, that we might have needed to go a different route. That's all I'm saying. And again, we don't know these things until it actually pans out, right? Like obviously, like that's what we're basically talking about here now. Yeah, I mean, he should have never said those words. I told y'all last year, there was two words I did not want to hear this coming into this season. Vanilla and retool. I didn't want to hear that. And again, I hear it again. I hear it again. So it is what it is, folks. Guys, I'm ClayRopp. This has been the Ropp Star Report. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Do me a favor, wherever you're watching, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, do me a favor. Come on over here. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Guys, don't forget tonight we have the NFC South Roundtable on Roundtable Sports. All right, we got it. It's obviously going to be a shit show for me because I'm going to have to walk into an absolute hellhole between three other NFC South teams, besides maybe the Atlanta Falcons. I might not hear much from the Atlanta Falcons today, hopefully, after their loss, right? So, again, guys, I'm still going to be here through thick and thin. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to bring y'all content, whether we win, lose, or draw. Okay? So it does not matter. And I'm always going to keep pounding with you guys. Okay? All right? You keep pounding with me. You keep riding with me. The Ropp Star Report's always going to be here. So appreciate everyone. Happy Tuesday. Guys, have a great rest of your day. Don't forget about the Roundtable Sports. I'm going to put it up right now.
Roundtable Sports Network brings you NFL divisional debate coverage on a weekly basis from your favorite content creators across YouTube. Featuring the AFC East Roundtable live Monday and Wednesday evenings. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST. The NFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST. The NFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The NFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The AFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The NFC East Roundtable live Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans.
Yeah, so shout out to Roundtable Sports. Obviously, we'll be live tonight, 7 p.m. EST. Appreciate everyone. Join the live stream again. Have a blessed Tuesday. Love you guys. Remember, have fun, be safe, and as always, keep pounding. Peace.